have played over 200 days of Stardew Valley Expanded, and now it's time to reach perfection. With things like shipping produce, cooking every recipe, and finding out who I haven't befriended yet, I still have a lot to get done. But of course, it was not gonna be easy. So if you like this series, please make sure to hit the subscribe button, and let's begin. The start of spring year 3, my grandfather came down to evaluate my farm. And yeah, having your shrine behind a waterfall kinda sucks, because I could barely tell that I got all 4 candles lit, earning me the Statue of Perfection. I got my farm started and took myself to Pierre's to get parsnips. Don't really know why I got those, not gonna lie. After that, my goal for the day was to collect every recipe from any shop in the game. Cooking all the foods and crafting all items is needed for perfection, so I needed to get a bunch of the ones that I didn't have. In the middle of my journey, however, I got an apples cutscene, where I met a new little Junimo. Peaches! Peaches? Who's Peaches? I'm so lost. That was not the end of the story, as taking myself to Cindersnap Forest, I got an ominous message. Of course, I raced to Junimo Woods, where Apples met up with a bunch of other Junimo friends, and he took them all to his little house. Oh, there's a bear. Okay, that wasn't... I looked away for like 2 seconds and did not expect to see a bear. At the end of their party and my day, getting myself a starfruit bonus. Day 226, I was greeted by Sophia at my front door, telling me to come to her place at noon to go on a little trip with her and Scarlet. So I quickly did some chores before heading over, where we drove in Scarlet's dad's truck all the way to this pretty lighthouse where we got food and went home. At the end of the day, I went to the volcano to search for dragon teeth, luckily getting one, so I could finally get the island obelisk, making it much easier to get to Ginger Island when I needed to. Also, rearranging my farm while I was at the Wizard's Tower. Talking to Magnus day 227, he mentioned an unfamiliar name, Morgan, but considering that they're his pupil, most likely this is the last person I needed to befriend for completion. Not only that, but Apples came to visit the farm and asked if I wanted to restore Aurora Vineyard. I did a bunch of searching, and honestly, I regret it, but I did have it refurbished. I don't know what I'm even gonna do with that land, so that was really dumb. But it's pretty cute, so... The rest of the day was pretty chill though, just crafting recipes and collecting wood. Day 228 was also pretty chill, as I accidentally harvested some starfruit on Ginger Island and put tappers on my now done oak trees, even sticking some on my trees at the quarry. I had the bright idea to move my pigs over to the other barn, so the morning of day 229, I did just that, fixing up the area a little bit, but ultimately it just makes it easier to collect the truffles. I did get the key bean quest, so you'll see me collect a bunch of those, but just ignore it. I didn't even try to do the quest properly. At the end of the day, I redid my keg shed and went to the mines to continue working on my monster goals. Day 230, I did a lot of chores and spent the rest of my time in the mines defeating dust sprites, as I am decently close. I got up to relatively the same thing day 231, but I had a bunch more crops done, and it wasn't until 1 a.m. that I realized I never went to go see Morgan, so I took myself over, as it surprisingly wasn't too late. This is Morgan, Magnus's new pupil, and will be staying at his place while they learn magic. And of course, I now have to get their hearts up. After this, quickly going and sleeping in Magnus's room for the night. I officially met them next morning, giving them a void egg, which apparently Morgan likes, and of course, went to the mines, where I actually finished my skeleton goal and dust sprite goal, leaving with just dinosaurs left. Tuesday, day 233, I got a quest from Evelyn because I am stupid. I needed to do the cave patrol quest, but I didn't know at the time. Actually, just using the rest of my day to get started on a bunch of cooking, leading me to do the same thing on day 234 because I already have a bunch of things needed already. A lot of my oak resin is done day 235, giving me many more kegs. And later in the day, I forgot a couple of cooking and crafting recipes down at Krobus's, but when I went to see him, I got an interesting cutscene. Who is Nyx? He keeps talking about wanting peace, but like, when were we even fighting? And to help mend our apparently bad relationship, I have to get him 60 void souls. I need those. You can only get them in the Badlands, and that's already hard enough as it is. So I went to bed thinking about it. We'll see if I even do it. I started day 236 off with a Morgan cutscene where they did a little Magnus impression. How cute. And then finally got myself my last obelisk, the one to the Calico Desert. After that, I went and changed my starfruit wine to now ancient fruit, as I'll keep starfruit wine in Grandpa's shed, getting to harvest some on the island, and sadly, spending the rest of my day in the Badlands, searching far and wide for those stupid void souls. I didn't want to go to the egg festival, but I do want strawberries. So I took myself to the town square and spent literally all of my money. Forgot I didn't have any because of the obelisk I bought yesterday. And of course, while I was there, I had to do the egg hunt, even using a guide to make sure I win. But, no, I lost. So I pitifully planted my strawberries, not even having enough, harvested my ancient fruit, and just went to bed because... what? I did a bunch of small things day 38, like gifting Morgan, finally getting these berries I needed for my shipping goal, getting some fish I needed for my cooking, and spending what little time I had left at the end of the day making those recipes. Gifting Morgan is going great because I received my second to last recipe, only having one left I need to find, so I quickly made that one, and spent the rest of the day getting materials to make even more. Day 240, I gifted Morgan, collected another fish for cooking, and picked up a key quest. The worst key quest. When have I ever been lucky enough for this? So I prepared and made my way to Calico Desert, forgetting that it's actually the desert festival, and there was no way I would even be able to get the prismatic shard during this event, and I was right. That didn't stop me day 241 from doing the same dang thing, but I didn't mind too much since it gave me a chance to kill dinosaurs while I was there. It was a very good luck day 242, so before I went, I got myself more kegs from my newly done oak resin and headed over to the desert. I ate a pretty lucky dish and could definitely tell I was lucky, literally getting an auto petter, dinosaur, and a prismatic shard. But I couldn't get down very far. Luck was not on my side day 243, so I redid my ancient fruit wine, sold all of my artisan goods, and sadly went to the Badlands to search for those void souls, ending the night with a pretty high paycheck. Morning of day 244, Lewis told me about a winery I could buy from Robin, but apparently it's pricey, and I can't afford to spend the money at the moment. I need 10 million gold, so no. I collected some of my done crops and went to go get starfruit seeds, but Sandy wasn't even there. Instead, taking myself to the casino because I need the last viable rare crow. How would I do this? Winning all of my games. Not only buying the rare crow, but a statue of treasure as well. Going home to get a cutscene of Morgan playing hide and seek with the other kids in town, where I had to let them win again. game. I felt bad. They were really, really obvious. This is also the cutscene where the kids find out that Morgan is indeed not a boy or a girl. And they kinda understand it. It was a dang good luck day, so I picked up some staircases and took myself right into the cavern. I chose a new, but still pretty beefy food item, and got so many good holes off rip. It was literally 1 p.m. and I was already down 40 floors. Getting my first prismatic shard from a chest. Honestly, didn't know that that counted. The second one from breaking some rocks. And after making it past floor 100, I got my third and final prismatic shard, heading straight to keys, picking myself up 2 recipes, and heading to bed. Successful. It is indeed community day, and I forgot that means Sandy won't be at the shop again. So another day goes by where I cannot get starfruit seeds. Instead, I did a bunch of little chores like tapping some trees in my community garden, struggling to get the void souls from the Badlands, and picking up a quest from the board. Sadly, I need both of these, but I went with the community cleanup as it was the easiest one to do. Just fishing in the mines at floor 100. It took 2 days, but I finished that quest on day 247, finally managing to get myself a crap ton of starfruit seeds, getting to plant those on both my farms, and picking up yet another Danger in the Deep quest. I feel like I've done it 50,000 times at this point, but it does give me the most gems, so I really just gotta take it. Going to bed hearing a very strange noise. A noise I was not about to deal with. Yep, I picked up that capsule and deleted it. No alien on my farm, thank you very much. It was actually the Flower Dance Festival, but I was not planning to go. So I instead picked up some freshly done strawberries and headed to the mines, ending the day at floor 50. More resin was done on day 249, earning me an almost full keg shed, taking myself to the mines for a bit before forgetting I should probably talk to Morgan, since I do have a friendship perk for the day. Going back to the mines, ending at floor 76, and redoing my ancient fruit wine that were actually done for the day. Day 250 was in the mines, ending at floor 110, so of course I was able to quickly finish that day 251, using my key gems to get even more recipes, just having 2 left. I did some tiny things for the rest of the day, like harvesting ancient fruit, picking up resin, and making my last needed scarecrow, completing the entire Rarecrow collection. It is finally the last day of spring, which also means my last strawberry harvest. Sadly though, not the last time I have to visit the Crimson Badlands. I hate this place and almost keep dying, literally only collecting 7 souls, though I did get to make more kegs, officially finishing my first keg shed, now getting to start on my grandpa's shed. But before the day ended, I went and fished for a bit, hoping for a frog, and eventually got one super late at night, putting a close to the spring season. Start of the summer season, day 253, I did the usual, like getting my farm ready and heading to Pierre's for some crops. Somehow managing to get the amount I needed on the first try. And on my way to fish, I got a Morgan cutscene where they were wrongfully showing their magic to other kids. But not gonna lie, I don't really get the point of this cutscene too much, so if anyone wants to explain it to me, please. Of course, I gifted Morgan a lovely void egg and took myself fishing. In the town, actually grabbing myself the prismatic jelly task, another quest I needed for a crafting recipe, and ended my night picking up another quest, the extended family, actually passing out on the beach while trying. I had to take a quick stop at the sauna, day 254, because, you know, Passed out last night. But of course, going to get myself started on those legendaries. Grabbing the Son of Crimson Fish and Miss Angler pretty quickly, but taking a while on the legend too. Luckily, I managed to grab the radioactive carp and Glacier Fish Jr. super easily though, and ended my day there. Since I got a friendship perk, I obviously went and saw Morgan. Crazy enough, already being at 7 hearts. What? Getting myself another cutscene where Morgan talks about how lonely they are, studying in this secluded tower, and I don't really know if I'm the person to go to for comfort. It seems like they already know who they want. Afterwards, annoyingly taking myself to the Badlands, but doing really well not getting injured, and even collecting 9 souls. Of course, I still have a quest to do, so I flip between different floors at random, finding the little prismatic slime on floor 65, but not even being able to give my husband the jelly, cause I don't know where he is. Day 256 started with handing over the prismatic jelly, then turned into a big maintenance day. Being able to get more kegs with my resin and having star fruit and my ancient wine done, I was pretty busy. Also collecting my second to last recipe needed from Key, since I kind of forgot I had gems from the fish. Also deciding today would be the day I grabbed every artisan good on my farm to sell and see how much I could profit from it. And it's a lot. Literally getting the legend achievement from it and being 30% of the way to getting myself the golden clock. I of course got myself a recipe from the Wizard's Quest, went and got some souls from the Badlands, and tried to get some dragon teeth, but alas, got absolutely none. Because I got so much money yesterday, he got me a little piggy bank. It steals my money. And I'm not gonna lie to y'all, I spent the entire day on the beach trying to get a sea jelly just to make a fish smoker, and I didn't even get it. I was really determined though. Day 259, I went to the volcano again since it was a good luck day, but again, got let down for the 3rd day in a row. Of course, that also happened day 260, but I did collect a lot of void souls from the Badlands and even picked up this key hungry challenge that we're gonna wait a bit to do because I need staircases and you can only get those on Sunday. Tuesday, day 261, was an actual good luck day as I got to 8 hearts with Morgan, a good amount of void souls, but most importantly, in my 2nd and 3rd volcano floor, I got dragon teeth, only needing 1 more for my recipes. Going to bed, I guess I gained a new little pig. Day 262 was actually pretty chill, with me doing a bunch of crafting. Finally, getting that stupid sea jelly, redoing my kegs, and getting a Morgan cutscene. The idea was that Morgan needed to transmute this iron to gold, and kinda struggled with it, and surprisingly to my husband, yeah, I can do that. He's definitely shocked about it though. Luckily, in the end, Morgan was able to do it. Day 263 was the luau day, but I had a ton of resin to pick up, which is a little sad since I just redid my kegs, but oh well. Friday, day 264 was pretty chill, getting nothing in the volcano, except for iron. Yeah, I'm really gonna need a lot of that if I'm gonna make more kegs. Speaking of iron, the anvil cost 50 iron bars. So because I have a bunch of money, I decided to get myself some iron ore from Clint. Yep. I just bought it, taking some of that new iron to make some kegs, and then replanted all of my starfruit on the island and in the shed. We got some blueberries done on day 266, but most importantly, it is Sunday, the day I get staircases from the desert trader, and the last day I can do the key quest. So we gotta get to it. Even though I tried to get good luck, I kept getting ladders only. But since I didn't use any of my staircases for a while, once I hit floor 80-ish, and honestly was getting my ass kicked, I spent banned those staircases, making my way through to the very end. And since I had time at the end of the night, just doing some things around the farm. Kind of forgot about the green rain since it came so late, but instead of chopping trees like I usually do, I actually picked up a quest from Willy, since this quest gives me the quality bobber recipe I need, which is how I ended my day, fighting bugs in the mines. In the morning, I went to gift Morgan since it was a Tuesday, and actually maxed out our hearts. That did not take long at all. What? And to celebrate, I went to finish that bug quest in the mines. Later in the day, taking all the guts and putting them in a bin for Willy. But that is not all I did today, as I still needed key gems for a recipe, so I went and got myself the Junimo cart quest. Yep. I'll try the key beans at a different time, but I guess I really have the experience for this game now because it only took me 4 tries and I completely got it, managing to get that last crafting recipe from Key. Day 269, I did some farm things like redoing my kegs, making more machines, and selling a lot of my valuables. I woke up crazy rich day 270 and rich in friendship because Morgan asked me to come see their test in the woods since they wanted a little moral support. And in the cutscene I got, we find out that Morgan is really good with summoning animals, and even they were pretty shocked by it. But luckily, they passed, ending a successful cutscene and gaining me higher quality goods. Thanks, Morgan. The rest of my day was actually really silly though, because the day before, I noticed my cat was sleeping in the upstairs room, and it was so cute. And I spent the entire day decorating it for Fanta. Look at how cute! Of course, doing the other room as well. Day 271, I cut down a bunch of trees because I had made many kegs, making me very poor in wood now. Day 272 wasn't too interesting either, as I had some ancient fruit done and decided to go to the Badlands to try and get some of my missing shipment items, cause I'm still missing a few. Sadly though, not being too successful, but I know why. I got some starfruit seeds because I'm not going to do the same thing I did last community day, but then went back to the Badlands. See, this little area I need to get past so I can get to a secret area, but I'm really bad and look really pathetic. That did not stop me though, because once I picked up my blueberries and got myself some potions, I went back in. This time, I really wanted to focus on killing as many mobs as possible so I could get to the section easier. And it definitely worked, but oh my god, there's even more guys. Luckily, I got a bunch of bombs and made my way into this room. I don't know who's talking to me, but they seem impressed and they definitely should be. So I stole all their things and actually passed out outside because I was not paying attention to the time. I was scared day 275 because Key just showed up at my door. Don't break the fourth wall with me. Stop. But the day was definitely chill compared to yesterday, getting myself a trash can upgrade, replanting all of my starfruit, and redoing my little keg sheds. Throughout my Badlands journey, I have gained enough souls to give to Krobus. That was kind of the end of that, I guess. In town though, I did grab myself another quest that I really needed and went to the mines to get that done. Surprisingly, slaying enough grubs to do it, earning me some sick cash. And of course, a recipe on day 277. That wasn't all I got today, as I was able to pick up a whole load of oak resin and made my way to the volcano to pick up the last dragon tooth I needed for that crafting. But when I arrived home, I actually got a Krobus cutscene telling me to go meet him in the mines. But I can't exactly do that at the moment. Day 278 was a huge crafting day since I apparently can't go to the mines to get that cutscene on a Friday, whatever that means. But I got almost everything done. Also doing a lot of cooking too, since I kind of forgot about that. Day 279, I finally go get that Nyx cutscene where a bunch of void souls were being taken back to their loved ones. And in return, I won't get attacked by them anymore. The later half of my day, I got some gold and wood since after crafting all of those recipes, I am poor again. It is now the last day of summer. However, I want to get prepared, so I spent most of my time messing with my farm since I know the layout isn't great, and decided not to go to the Moonlight Jellies, instead selling a bunch of goods to set myself up for fall year 3. I got to work getting my farm prepared again. This time, I was going to do a whole thing of cranberries so I could use some dehydrators. Luckily for me though, in town, I was able to grab the request I needed for my last crafting recipe. Thank God. But wouldn't you know it, planting stuff took forever. Even the little pineapples that I needed. Because sadly, she didn't ask for taro root. Ending the night redoing my ancient fruit. Continuing my kegs day 282, finishing up my star fruit, and even getting myself some more preserve jars. Day 283 was when I actually did things, like taking myself to the Highlands, because I still have a long way to go on my shipment, and I was unaware I had a quest that I didn't start in the game, like freeing this little caged dwarf. He told me about a monster on the peak of the Highlands mountain, and now it is my job to defeat it. Today wouldn't be that day, but I did collect things to help me out. Day 284, I did have to get some things done quickly, like my oak resin and grabbing some iron from Clint. Then I took myself to the Highlands. I apparently was not supposed to touch the dino I needed to defeat, so I had my new slingshot help me out. It's kind of sad, you can't even see him, but I didn't get hit, so he is now defeated, allowing me to now free the dwarf and end my day. Day 285 was a very chill starfruit maintenance day. Day 286, on the other hand, I had to do some fishing. I quickly grabbed myself a sea cucumber and salmon so I could make some more food, and I was gonna make more, but I did get a cutscene from my new dwarf friend, who has now set up shop in the Highlands. But it's just decorations. At the end of my night, collecting hazelnut to make 2 more recipes. I woke up the morning of day 287 to Marlin at my door, requesting me to come to the guild at night for a meeting. So in the meantime, I did a bunch of maintenance, getting more kegs for the island even, and then heading over. Thankfully, this is the cutscene I was waiting for, because he told us about 3 new bosses to defeat. 1 in the Badlands, 1 in the swamp, and 1 in the Highlands. And I had to now defeat all of them. Twice. Yep, I need their loot for shipment, but Marlin also wants their loot, so I have to do it twice. Day 288, I had cranberries done, which is definitely a lot. Then went to start on my first boss. Little did I know that they are very difficult to find. I spent the entire day at the swamp, yet never found the boss. What I did find out, however, was that these big ghosts counted for dinosaurs. So I officially completed my monster goals without even meaning to. What? Day 289, I redid my kegs, then went back to the swamp, being unsuccessful again, literally redoing the day, and still not being able to find it. So I changed tactics day 290 and went to the Highlands instead, checking the bottom floor before I eventually found it in the mountain, defeating it and getting my first needed loot for this quest. I tried to go to the Badlands to try there, but realized it was very hard. Instead, to help myself, I went and got the slime charmer ring, so I would never have to deal with slimes again. Yes, I know I am very late. Day 291 was unsuccessful again, but this time in the Badlands, literally only getting oak resin a day. I don't even want to talk about day 292, as you can just look at it. Still, haven't come in contact with the boss. Day 293 was also the exact same way, yet I just quit and went to a different boss, actually being able to find this one, beating it with ease and surprisingly deciding to go back to the Badlands. But thank God I did, because I actually found the scorpion. Of course, I had to deal with literally every other mob besides the slimes trying to kill me, but I eventually killed it, meaning I have killed all the bosses I need for Marlin, but I still gotta defeat him again. At the end of the day, I went and collected my pineapples, trying to get started on replanting them, but it was a little late. So I continued the morning of day 294, afterwards dealing with all of my little star fruit and going to bed. I went back to the Highlands since that seems to be the easiest boss to find, but even though these slimes can't hurt me, oh my god, they are so annoying. But the little time I had left, I did try to go to the swamp, but definitely didn't find the boss. Thankfully, we get a little break on day 296 because it is the Stardew Valley Fair. I quickly picked up some wine and got materials to put in my bin, thinking that this would be pretty good. I mean, look at it. I needed to spend time getting points for my last needed cooking recipe. Obviously, I just did the fishing game. It's the easiest one. And I thought I would get an extra 1,000 points from getting first place in the fair, but no, I got second. Pierre getting first. I literally hate that guy. But still, I was able to get that recipe and ended my night dealing with my starfruit kegs. Morning of day 297, I started to get real mad that I have still not gotten a golden goose egg for full shipment. So I decided I needed to get more geese. Yeah, they have dumb names, but hopefully getting more will up my chances. In the meantime, I went to the swamp again, finding the boss rather quickly and leaving it to spend time in the Badlands. Horrible idea. Bro, 3 times I died, so no more of that. In the meantime, I sold the loot I had double of and went to bed. Speaking of shipment, day 298, I went and got loot I was missing from the Highlands. But because it was a good luck day, I took myself to the Badlands, having to deal with a bunch of mobs, but of course, not the mob I needed. Quietly ending my day. Sadly, it continued day 299, but this time I found the scorpion, finally getting to sell it for shipment, ending my day chopping trees in the woods. I got greeted at my door day 300 for completing the quest and went to pick up my reward, which was pretty good. I'm just not gonna use it. I went and picked up my pineapples, only having 9 days left, so it's a little scary. For the remainder of my day, I actually made more dehydrators since I have many fruit to put in them, and took them to the vineyard, upgraded my watering can, and ended there. Day 301, I got mad because I genuinely don't know what this is, and I need it shipped, but it was actually just bug guts, so... And thankfully, I was also able to ship raisins and the tea leaves, just not that stupid golden egg. So to help myself out, apparently the raccoons can help you out once you do a couple of quests. And since I haven't done any, got started on that. Luckily, getting the fish I needed. Day 302, I just dealt with my ancient fruit kegs, and it was very similar on day 303, but it was my starfruit wine and crops done. Also getting my newly upgraded watering can. Ending my day collecting some cranberries. Still no golden goose egg, but I did get all the periwinkle needed for the raccoon. Just gotta wait for another quest now. I added more kegs to my island farm and went to look at my perfection progress, obviously being so close. In the meantime, I picked up another quest day 305, getting to donate some hardwood and cut down some hardwood. Getting close to completing it on day 306, using most of the day though to clean up my farm, even finding this little cave that no one told me about. How was I supposed to know that this was there? What? Second to last day of fall, I had a bunch of pineapples done, but because it doesn't update shipping in real time, I got a little scared of donating all of them. Though I was not scared of donating all of my artisan goods. At the end of the day, completing the hardwood quest and making over 5 million gold when I went to sleep. The last day of fall, I got some of my crops done, being the last cranberry harvest of the season, even taking them over to the vineyard, and of course, helping out my perfection goal by officially getting the golden clock. Maybe now that I have this, the geese will be more likely to give me that stupid egg. I woke up the first day of winter to get rewarded for finishing the island ingredients quest, getting my last crafting recipe, making it immediately to get the craft master achievement. But that's not all I can get done, as now that it's winter, I can grab myself the winter star rose and some berries to finish up my cooking, getting the gourmet chef achievement. Of course, now that means the last thing I have left is the golden goose egg, which is where we're gonna change up the video a bit. Other than trying to get myself even more geese to help my chances, I continued on every day doing my dailies and hoping that I'd either get the egg or another quest to do from the raccoon. Ending day 310 by decorating an unused section on my farm. I got a little well to go in that spot day 311, even having more time to make it prettier, but kind of forgot I should definitely try to get Pam's house upgraded. Day 313, I finally got another raccoon quest, but annoyingly I couldn't cheat the system, so I had to plant myself some powder melons and wait for them to be done to continue. Luckily, the well didn't take too long to make, so I was able to give Robin the materials she needed for Pam's new house, but it'll take a little bit for that one to get done. Many days have passed, now being day 317, where Pam's new house is done. Robin gave me the option to tell her that it was me, but I decided to be anonymous about it. I felt a little shy, but luckily, they both really like it. I just don't know why it's a shock to them. Like, did you not know a house was being built over your camper? Day 318, I was able to get the powder melon I needed to dehydrate using fairy dust to get it done. Of course, still having to wait for more quests because I haven't gotten the egg yet. Day 323, I sold many of the items I had been producing in the background, getting a ton of cash. And with that cash, I went and got myself a return scepter from Krobus, allowing me to instantly teleport to my farm. Easiest raccoon quest of my life, day 325, getting him the mushroom and algae needed, but only getting this cute little hat in return. Literally 7 days later, I got my next quest, and I kind of fubbed it up a little. So I had to get myself another wild horseradish to make into juice, but when giving it to the raccoon, just getting myself fairy dust in return. Yeah, even though it was Christmas, I kind of just wallowed in self-pity. But I did go, giving Pam her favorite dish to eat, but from my Secret Santa, getting a jade. Thanks, Maru. It's a little frustrating, but yeah, I made it to the last day of the year without getting the egg. 3 years? Technically 2, and I couldn't get a single golden goose egg. Ugh. That's so irritating. But since my 3rd year's up, my goal was now to just sleep until I got a raccoon quest or the egg. No way! I hit my knee because it startled me. 2? This is how it ends. Oh my god! Took 50 years. It's done. Yes! Obviously going to bed as soon as possible to wake up to completion. Yay! So now if I go to keys, it should say I'm 100% on everything. Yay! Is anything special gonna happen in the morning? I mean, the summit's already open, so... Aw, yay! Legacy of Dr. Pepper Farm is eternal. Yes! Oh, it does want me to come to the summit. Huh, interesting. Going there, I, of course, met with my husband who stood with me to talk about our time together. Was not expecting him to say that. I love that they toy with the little Carola and stuff. But the time on the summit ends with an overview of all the characters, and surprisingly, my grandpa and Key telling me how proud they are. Look at my pops, he got a little thumbs up. Officially now completing my entire Stardew Valley expanded series. I deserve a nice penny, like one of those ones you'd find on the side of the road, or maybe a comment from y'all whenever you scroll down and hit the like and subscribe button. Wink wink. But thank you so much for joining in on the series. Obviously, I will continue to post more and more and stream on my Twitch, so I hope to see you then.